Welcome to Gardening with Ben, the podcast where we dig into the soil of our gardens and the depths of our green thumbs. I'm your host Ben, here to guide you through the joys of gardening from sowing seeds to reaping bountiful harvests. Each episode will explore tips, tricks and tales from the garden and allotment, sharing insights from ourselves and stories from our own back garden adventures. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just getting your hands dirty for the first time, there's something here for everyone. So grab your brew and gardening gloves and let's get growing with Gardening with Ben. Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of Gardening with Ben. Well, in today's episode is our monthly episode where we talk about all the different jobs what need doing in the garden this time of month. And there's not many jobs that need doing, to be honest, because we've done a lot of the jobs throughout the winter, getting it all prepared and all ready. And hopefully you've been following along and ticking these jobs off as we go along. And again, with this episode, like I always say, get yourself a little notepad and then make a note of the jobs which need doing, obviously the ones relevant to you, and then you can tick them off as we go along and get them all sorted. And I tend to tick them off and then I know I've done them, and then I can move on to any other jobs which need doing around the garden that I find that I have to get done. So what jobs need doing in April? Well, we're going to be looking at what jobs need doing in the vegetable garden, what needs to be done in the fruit garden, and what needs to be done in the flower garden. And we'll start off with looking at what needs to be done in the vegetable garden. And obviously this is most relevant to me because of my allotment and growing the fruit and veg down there that I've got. Now, something that I don't actually grow myself, which I should actually have a go at growing down there, because once you've got it planted, it's there forever, which is asparagus. And hopefully these should be now growing and you should be able to start harvesting these. Remember, don't let the spears get too big and just keep snipping them off, and hopefully you'll keep getting crops throughout the year. And as you know, asparagus is expensive to buy. So if you've got some asparagus plants in your garden, you are doing a good job, and hopefully be able to have some of those with your meals. Peas. If you're growing an early crop of peas, make sure you start to add supports for them to grow up, as they send off little tendrils which hook themselves onto stuff and support them. So make sure they're off the ground, because if you leave them to just grow along the ground, the mice and the rats will come and eat them all. So make sure you've got some supports for them to grow up, either something like a wigwam or some chicken wire. That will do perfectly. So yeah, make sure that your peas are supported and they can grow up it nice and easy. Next up is start to prepare all your seed beds, and what I mean by that is that we're getting them all ready now for planting stuff out towards May time, and this means by improving your soil by adding compost and green manure to help the soil and give it the nutrients and food which needs the plants to grow. So start adding that into the compost, into the soil, so that you get better crops this year and it can start to add nutrition into the soil before you start planting everything out. Fruit trees. What do we need to do with the fruit trees this month? So let's look at what needs doing in the fruit garden. So fruit trees, make sure that these have been mulched. And when I say like mulch, you can get the mulch from the wood chips, or you can get mulching bags from DIY stores. But yeah, if you can get the wood chip, that'll make it a lot cheaper because you can get a lot of it for free if you know people that do wood chippings. So start to mulch around your fruit trees, but don't mulch right up to the trunk, as this could cause rotting on the tree trunk itself. So give them a good mulch, and yeah, hopefully that will improve your crops this year. Raspberries. What you need to do is add a slow release fertilizer to the plants. Now, I've got a lot of raspberries on my allotment, so this is always a good little tip for myself, as I get some chicken manure and I just sprinkle it around the bottom and leave it to release throughout the year. And yeah, hopefully it gives it a good old-fashioned kick up and gets it started and boosted. So what needs doing in the flower gardens? Like I said, there's not much stuff that needs doing this month, not at all down in the allotment and garden. So the jobs which need doing in the flower garden this month are heathers. You need to prune winter heathers this month as they start to fade back. Now my winter heather's still in bloom. It's not dying back or fading back whatsoever, so I'm leaving it for the time being until it fades back. I definitely won't be touching it while it's out in bloom. Pansies, keep deadheading those old winter pansies. Whatever you're deheading them, the more the flowers will grow. Don't let them go to seed. Dehead them and take off the old pansy. Primroses, these can be divided this month as they stop flowering. The best thing about primroses is you just keep dividing them and you'll get more and more flowers from them. And it's cheaper than buying new ones. Just keep dividing them, and you can have a whole flower bed of primroses. Roses will be waking up and growing again now, so make sure you tie up any rambling roses and start trading them back round where they need to grow. Sweet peas, pinch out the tips of the sweet peas so that they bush out when they grow. So if you're growing sweet peas, make sure you pinch off the tops, and then they'll start to grow bushier and you'll get more and more flowers on them. So as I said, there weren't many tips for this month for jobs in the garden, so you probably could get a lot of that done in a weekend, to be honest. And then you can get on to other jobs like painting your fences, painting your beds, doing any tidying up, and sowing more seeds, which we're going to be talking about in the next episode. So make sure you come back for the next episode where we're going to be talking about what seeds can be planted in not February. What seeds can be planted in April? So if you're not following this podcast already, do give it a follow, do give it a like, and you'll get notified next time the next podcast is out, which will be tomorrow. So thanks for listening. As always, remember, keep smiling, keep shining, and keep gardening with Ben, everyone. And that wraps up another episode of Gardening with Ben. Thank you for joining me in this journey. Remember, every seed planted is a step towards a greener world, and every day is a chance to grow something beautiful. Keep nurturing your gardens and your souls. Until next time, I'm Gardening with Ben, reminding you to let your garden be your sanctuary. Happy gardening, and see you in the next episode. Remember, keep smiling, keep shining, and keep gardening with Ben.